Hi guys, it's Out here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a cheap alcohol stove called a penny stove. So what you'll need for this is two empty soda cans, a box cutter or another razor blade, 4 or 5 cotton balls, a small sharp finishing nail, and a larger nail. So the first thing you want to do is take your first soda can, and using a board that's about an inch thick, rest a marker on it and draw a line all the way across the Coke can, the soda can. So now that that's done, you want to, if you want to use the same technique with the board, you can, but you want to cut across this line. So now that you've cut the soda can into 2 halves, you can discard the upper half. You won't need that anymore. So you can set this aside. Then you're going to want to take your second Coke can and with a much thinner sheet of wood, just like a sheet of plywood, draw another line around the base of the can. And again, you're going to be cutting along this line. So there we go. So now that you've cut that in half, again you can throw away the upper half. And just as a note, I ended up using the not only the box cutter, but I also used tin snips to cut along it. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take your fine nail and with a hammer on the inside or on the outside of the bottom, you're going to drill or just poke out maybe 10 holes all around it. Just pretty much pinholes, as small as you can make them. So, like, just as small as possible. So, if you can see that hole there, it's just super tiny. So I finished punching holes out, and just remember that smaller is always better. You want to get it pretty much as small as possible. So then you're gonna take your nail, your small nail again, and in your closest approximation of the middle, just tap out, just run the nail all the way through. So, all the way through. So for this next step, you're going to take your larger nail and put it through the hole that you made with your smaller nail. So just pretty much tap it all the way through. And then you're going to take a screw that is about the same size or slightly larger than the nail, and you're going to be able to screw it in. So this is where you're going to fill it with fuel once you've finished your stove. So now you're going to take your cotton balls and just spread them out like so. Just fluff them up. Then once you have them just kind of spread out, you're going to put them in the into the larger part of the soda can. So you might be able to fit 3 or 4 in, maybe 5. It looks like I'm going to put 4 in. So there you go. And so now this is the hardest part. You're going to take your smaller one and put it upside down like this, so that the bottom is facing up. Now you're going to take your large part and you're just going to shove it inside. And you're going to shove the small one inside the large one. And sometimes it'll tear, and pretty much if you do that, if that happens, you just need to restart. And so this is the step that has the largest potential for failure. So you'll see So it really looks like a stove now. This is where it all comes together. So right here I'm going to be showing you how to fill up your stove. So you're just going to take your screw out, and then with rubbing alcohol, and I'm using just 91% isopropyl rubbing alcohol from the supermarket, and you can use a dropper or a pipette or something. Just fill the pipette up with your alcohol, then put your finger over it and fill up your stove. And you'll have to use a fair amount of alcohol, like, just fill it up until, imagine like it was a quarter full, the can itself. And then once you've done and you've filled it up with alcohol, which might take a while, you take your screw and you put it back over in the hole to keep the vapors from coming out when you light it. So what I've got here is just a piece of particle board with some clothes hanger that I've bent and hot glued onto the thing. This small one is where the stove fits on nicely. As you can see, it just rests there. And the larger one, you can rest stuff on, you can put a pot on, stuff like that. And I also have the metal part of a tea light, those little candles, and I just put a little squirt of alcohol in there. And so that burns and it heats up the alcohol inside the stove so that it propels the gas out of the little holes, which is burnt. So that's basically how the stove works. And now I'll demonstrate it. So it's been about 3.5 minutes now. So I'm just gonna stop taking footage right now, and I'll just tell you how long it burns. So this is about maybe 5 minutes after I just finished burning it. The total burn time, by the way, was 28 minutes and 20 seconds, pretty much. It's still pretty hot, so I'm gonna be handling it with pliers. So as you can see, it got a little scorched on the top, but you know, that's normal. I don't really care. You can see some of the soot on the bottom just from the warmer. But still, anything you would ever need to cook in a situation that you would actually have to use one of these, you can cook with it. I mean, almost 30 minutes. That's pretty long. So there you go. Have fun and definitely be safe. And thanks for watching. Have a nice night.